Hey everybody. Sunny afternoon here in Tijuana, Mexico. And I'm watching the news right now. Watching the news, there's a lot of, there's some controversy, especially obviously from the left, as far as the deportations that are about to take place. And let me tell you something. This is a topic that I think unless you really understand their mentality, and I've been talking about it for years, and it's not because I'm against, my own people. It's not because I want to see them suffer. It's not because I want to see them, be abused in any way. It's not because I want to see them go through that. It's because I know, and I've been talking about this for years, and I've done a lot of videos about it. This is not something that's new for me. I've been talking about mass deportations for years, even before President Trump actually became elected. Because I actually, I happen to live in Mexico. I've spent a lot of years in America, and it's a topic that, even though it sounds so brutal and it sounds so violent in some ways, and it sounds so sorry, my phone got wet, so my screen is a little blurry because I was doing stuff here. So yeah, it's a topic that of course the left will use in any way possible to demonize President Trump, but it's a topic that has to be addressed especially by someone who really understands it. That's why I'm making this video. You really have to understand it. You can't just say, well, people should be deported because they did something wrong. It's not just that. Everybody that has broken into America, that came into America without the proper documents, has done something wrong. But here's the thing. Deportations, especially mass deportations, are absolutely necessary. And let me explain to you why, from a Mexican who lives in Mexico, who is also an American, who has firsthand knowledge, firsthand understanding of these people's mentality, okay? We as Hispanics, I'm speaking mostly of Mexicans, but we're all similar in a lot of ways. We're not going to stop doing something until you make us, okay? We're not going to stop doing something until you make us stop. One of the reasons why a lot of people left in 2016, they literally got up and left America and moved back to Mexico and deported themselves, is because they were afraid of a mass deportation, okay? So this is something that's really, really crucial for Americans to understand, and understand that, I happen to think that President Trump is using an alarm, almost like an alarm strategy, to get people to leave on their own. And I think it's going to work. I think that if you threaten that you're going to deport 1 million people or 3 million people, or it's 1 million now, but it actually should be more. It actually should be more. And it's not that I want to see people suffer. It's not that I want to see people, get dragged into vehicles and taken to detention centers and then, be back in Mexico or back in whatever, mostly Mexico, because they drop them off back in Tijuana or Juarez or any of these places. It's not that. It's the fact that they came in illegally, and unless this happens, they're going to continue to do it. It's going to go on for the rest of our lives. It's not going to stop. And, I'm not pro-violence. I don't condemn violence in any way. I was at the border a few weeks ago. By telling people stop, you're not going to hurt them. That's not the point. You don't hurt them. You don't physically injure someone. But if you tell them stop, they're going to stop. Guys, I live in Mexico, okay? It's very simple, okay? Let me tell you something. I have a house I have a fence around, part of the house, but not the entire house. I have what we call malandros, who are basically little criminals that go around stealing stuff, breaking into houses, whatever. And all you have to do is tell them stop. And the people that don't are, the ones that stay inside and don't say anything and don't do anything are the ones they keep coming back to their houses, and they can't leave anything outside, and they can't leave a bucket outside because it'll get stolen. They can't have a hose outside their house because it'll get stolen. Guys, I can leave my house for a week and I can leave my house for a week and leave everything outside and nothing will get stolen. And let me tell you why. Because I know how to deal with them. Every time I catch them at night, sometimes I grab my hose and I throw water at them, and I'll tell them, don't come back here. Don't come back here. Like, I'm watching you. I'm watching you. Do not come back here. Like, this is not going to be easy for you. Okay. And then you do certain things, like you're vigilant. So it's not about hurting them. You don't see me shooting them, because then I'd go to jail, right? That's a crime. But you don't see me shooting them. You don't see me throwing rocks at them. But I do sometimes grab my hose and I hose them away. And guess what? My house is probably one of the safest houses in the entire colonia where I live, which means neighborhood. In the entire colonia, it's probably one of the safest houses, okay? And it's not just because of the dogs. They couldn't care less about the dogs. They will steal anything with or without dogs. It's because I show resistance, okay? I show some type of resistance, whether I get them wet, whether I have lights that come on, the sensor lights, which not a lot of people have, and they're only $20 at Home Depot. It's not that expensive, but not a lot of people have them in Mexico. So when you show some type of resistance, it actually works. It scares them off. You don't have to hurt them. You don't have to, you don't have to injure them in any way, but you have to show some resistance. And by telling stop, they eventually will stop. But if you keep politicizing everything, oh well, no, I'm just gonna call the cops, and they're gonna keep coming back. My house, I would have no water hose, I would have no plants, because they would probably steal my plants and sell them for 10 pesos down the street, to buy some cigarettes. I would have, sometimes, I leave buckets, sometimes I leave, whatever it may be. They will steal anything. They will steal the cable from your electricity. They will make a hole in your house and they pull out the cable from the electricity system or whatever, and they will sell it by the pound at the local you sell it here by the pound, and they'll give you, $10 or $5 or whatever. But that's enough for them to get cigarettes, because at the end of the day, they're criminals, okay? So, I'm trying to explain to you guys their mentality. When you see me out there at the border saying stop and saying no, it's not that I want to injure them. It's not that I want to cause any type of harm. It's that if you show resistance, and this is why I came up with the term Patriot Caravan back in December, because I knew that if we showed resistance, and it doesn't have to be violent, because I don't want anybody ending up in jail by any means, or anybody hurt by any means, they will stop doing it. The only reason why they keep doing what they do is because there is no resistance, because there's no wall. First of all, there's no wall. I mean, there is now. President Trump is working on that, but there is no wall in a lot of places. The Democratic government is inviting them to come in. So not only no resistance, but the complete opposite. They're promoting them having children and coming in and coming in and coming in. And there's nobody at the border doing anything. Why wouldn't you want to come in? If you're starving in Tijuana and you just came from Honduras or from wherever you may be, from Mexico, from Honduras, from Guatemala, and nobody's showing you any resistance, wouldn't you want to come in too? Wouldn't you want to say, hey, the door's open, the refrigerator's right there, there's nobody saying anything, the woman's hiding up in her bedroom somewhere, afraid, and God forbid she comes down and says something or tries to push me out, because then she could go to jail, because we want to be politically correct. So what am I going to do? I'm going to walk in, I'm going to help myself to whatever food is in the refrigerator and camp out in the living room, because nobody's telling me not to. Oh, and then if I get pregnant, then I will get paid for camping out in the living room. Okay? Copper. Yes, copper. Thank you. So think of what I'm saying, okay? It's deportation, guys, is not just, oh, well, you know, people are going to get deported and you're for it, you're against it, and, you know, and it's, you have to understand it. This is why it's so important for us Hispanics to be out there and be voices for the rest of the community. This is why it's important for us to be influential, because I'm not just a Hispanic who, you know, who was born or has lived in America my entire life. I actually live in Mexico. I deal with these people on a daily basis, sometimes at their worst. And their worst is right before they cross the border, because I'm a border girl. I live at the border and I've lived here for years. So I understand their mentality, and I understand that there's no need to hurt them. There's no need to hurt them. There's no need to assault them, but there is a need to stop them, to say no, because if you don't, they're going to keep doing it. Share this video, share this video, share this video, because you know, you don't get this point of view from a lot of people. Not a lot of Republicans for Trump live at the border and understand their mentality the way that I do. It's absolutely necessary. It's absolutely necessary for mass deportations to begin, because whether, you know, they end up deporting 1 million people or 500,000 or 5 people, they will start deporting themselves. And not only that, but it'll prevent hundreds of thousands of others from coming in, because if they know they are going to get deported, See, they don't understand right now. They just hear deportations. That's what they hear. They hear deportations, and that's it. You know, they hear deportations, and they don't differentiate between, oh, criminal record, no criminal record. They just hear, you know what, I'm gonna be over there, and there's gonna be this yellow van or bus or whatever, or truck or whatever, that's gonna come by and pick me up and put me in jail and throw me back into Mexico, okay? So why would I want to cross the border if the president of that country that I'm trying to take advantage of and I'm trying to cross to illegally is already doing that? Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to go there? Why would I want to go there if he's already building a wall? Why would I want to go to an area that I know is protected by citizens? Why would I want to run into something that may put me in danger? You know, why? It's guys, it's the whole, just an idea. It's an idea, you know, that's all. They had, you know, in Yuma, Arizona, they had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people crossing in through that area. When, you know, when some of the patriots started camping out, they're no longer using that area. And, you know, I understand it's a huge territory to cover. I mean, we would need, you know, a couple million, I'm spending the day with my neighbor, so she's back here. A couple million patriots to actually build like a human wall, and I get that, and we don't have that, but at least in that area where they had been crossing, they're no longer crossing. The day I was there, you know, Jen was actually telling me they used to cross here by the hundreds, and we haven't seen any in a few weeks. So guess what? It's actually working. Again, we don't condone violence. They're armed. You don't see them using their guns. You didn't see me causing any injury to anybody. Come on, guys. Come on. The world and the country are literally falling apart. We gotta stop. We really have to stop with our nonsense political correctness. We really do. I mean, I understand that we are conservative, and I understand that we have to be professional, and I understand that, you know, a lot of things. I get it. I come from a very educated family in Mexico City. I went to the top university in Mexico City, Universidad Iberoamericana. I know exactly how to behave. I'm well educated myself, but let me tell you something. America's future is at stake right now, okay? We don't have to be thugs about it, but let me tell you something. America's future is at stake right now, okay? That's why when you have someone like President Trump, you know, come out and speak the way that he does, we don't care. We don't care. Why? Because we know that it's not a time for political correctness right now, okay? The left is not going to watch their mouths. The left is not going to watch their rhetoric. The left is dirty. That's how they play. They play dirty, okay? And yeah, we're not going to be hurting people. We're not going to be assaulting people. We're not going to be shooting people. We're not going to be doing any of that, but we do have to take a stand, a strong stand as Americans, the way President Trump did. And that's the reason why he got 60-something million people to go out and vote for him. Because if he would have been weak, if he would have had the same rhetoric, the same ideas, the same ideology, the same objectives, the same everything, but he would have been weak about it, guess what? People would have been, yeah, he's right. Yeah, he's onto something, but no, he has no chance. Yeah, no, he's too weak. No, I'm not gonna, I'm 70 years old. I'm not gonna go vote. I'm not gonna. Guess what? He got people in wheelchairs going out and voting for him. Okay, guess what? He got people that had never voted before, like myself, to go out and vote for him. I had never voted in my life. I had never, ever voted in my life until President Trump. And I'm not ashamed of saying it, because that just means that a man who was not a politician, okay, who was a businessman, who was a leader in other ways, got people like me. I'm the perfect example, okay, to go out and not only register to vote for the first time, okay, he got me out to the primaries. He got me, guys, I used to spend 10, 12, sometimes 18 hours a day posting on Facebook, sharing my thoughts, writing, spreading it to every liberal site out there, everything I could, because I knew something had to be done. And this is the power that strength has. Again, I'm not condoning violence. I was at the, infamous, we should punch that guy in the face rally in Vegas. I was there. I was, a few feet away from him. And it was funny. It was funny. And guess what? It got a lot of attention. And it just, not that anybody's going to do that, but the guy was behaving like a total animal, okay? The guy was causing a scene, disrupting the venue, the event, and he called for him to be punched in the face. Like, maybe that's not what should happen to him, but, it just really showed people that he meant what he was saying, that he was strong, that he didn't back down, that he had what it takes to be president of a country that's falling apart, of a country that, unless we do something and forget about this political correctness, guys, we're going to be living in a socialist nation in 10 years, not even 10 years, in 6 years, okay? Unless we have someone that has, that has the courage and the strength to do something, to get up and do something the way I do at home in Mexico when I see criminals approaching my house at, after 10 o'clock and I physically, hose them off or, hose them away or turn on the lights and so, to make sure that they know that it's not going to be easy for them. It's the only way. Mass deportations are not just, oh, yes or no. And this is what I think of it. Guys, let me tell you something. Mass deportations are absolutely 1,000% necessary to stop this madness and this destruction of America. They're 100% necessary, and a lot of these people will start deporting themselves. So I hope you like my message. Share this video, share this video, share this video. I'm working on what Zuckerberg did to my page. He took down my page, calling me a bad actor, interfering with the U.S. elections from a foreign nation because I live in Mexico. And that's something that I'm not going to let go of either, because I built that page with my work, with my strength, with my passion, putting my life at risk. I didn't just sit at home and do things. I was actually out there doing stuff, and he shouldn't get away with it. He should be held accountable for shutting down my page because the phone numbers that were associated to the accounts managing them were in Mexico, okay? Because I could have easily crossed the border into America because I am an American citizen, and I could have easily, without a problem, made my account, make it seem like it was in America. But here's the thing about me. I don't have anything to hide. I'm very transparent. I'm very real. Sometimes people don't like it. You know what? I'll deal with it. I'll deal with people not liking me for who I am, because at the end of the day, I've never been arrested. I've never committed a crime. I've never hurt anyone. I spend my life helping others. And if you want to judge me for my character, and if you want to judge me for being strong, and if you want to judge me for being controversial, go ahead. You know what? I think in the long run, I'll make a difference in the world. You know what? And I may not, not always look the way that that, people want me to look, and I may not always act the way people want me to act, and I may not always say the right thing, but I do it from my heart. I don't do it to get ahead. I don't do it to make a name for myself. I do it because I care. I do it because I care for the people in America and Mexico both. I do it because I'm sick and tired of seeing people in both countries suffer so much. I do it because I'm sick of the corruption. I do it because I'm sick and tired of seeing the abuse of the people by these corrupt politicians, this corrupt government, and seeing both countries being destroyed, and especially what's being done to America. And I will never stop, no matter what. And I will never stop being who I am, whether I am politically correct or not, because I'm going to tell you something. In the end, I am educated, I am smart, I am knowledgeable, and I'll be more and more and more, whether people like me or not. Okay? Love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.